April 25th, 2011. I woke up abruptly, sweat dripping from my brow. I could feel the presence again. His presence. I looked around my room. I know I'm being watched. It's not anywhere to be seen. Damn, this is the third night in a row I've been awoken like this. The fear is starting to take over my mind. Something's out there, stalking me. Something wants me. But I should back up and tell this from the beginning. I should press the rewind button. Um, I'm 16 years old and moved into this house with my family 7 years ago. It's about 30 minutes outside of town, so we're fairly isolated. My parents love living out here. They say it's peaceful and pretty. I hate it. Not as much during the day as during the night. I've I've always been scared of the dark. It's my number one phobia. Nyctophobia, something like that. Fear of the dark. I can't remember. Anyway, I hate I hate the dark. I hate not being able to see and out there at night. There's no light other than the moon and stars. No warm, comforting glow of street lamps, no headlights slowly moving up and down the streets. Just a hazy darkness. And it's especially dark during a new moon. That's when I encountered it, that thing. I had a bunch of friends over, and after all dark, we all decided to play some airsoft capture the flag. It was a new moon, which made it especially dark and creepy. No light pierced the inky blackness except the flashlights on the barrels of our airsoft pistols and the occasional zip of glow in the dark airsoft pellets flying at their targets. We were all having a great time. I had grabbed our team's flag and was rushing back to my base when I heard a sound that made my blood run cold. A scream of terror coming from about 30 feet to my right. A flash of white was rushing away from the sound. I changed direction and rushed towards the noise, aiming my flashlight at the source of the sound. My friend, Jacob, was sitting in the dirt, holding his bleeding leg, obviously in pain. The cut was deep. Another friend, Matt and I rushed him inside, where we sat on the edge of the bathtub and began to wash and dress the cut. We asked him what had happened, but he said that some creature had attacked him. He didn't get a good look at it, but just saw a flash of white. At first I assumed it was just a possum or something that he had scared, but that was before I saw it again. The second time I was alone. It was in the middle of the night, not a new moon, thankfully, but still eerie. I had insomnia, a rather common problem for me. Afraid of the dark and can't sleep. God, I'm a wreck. It was 2 a.m. and I had given up all hope of getting any sleep, so I went downstairs to the living room and popped the DVD into the television. As I lay on the couch, my mind lost in the world of Inception, one of my dogs started barking. I thought nothing of it. Barking in the middle of the night is basically a routine for them. Then my other dog joined in. No big deal, but that was when I noticed something. This bark was a lot more menacing than usual. It was more of a guttural, growling bark. The bark dogs make when threatened. I turned on the back porch light and stepped outside, creeped out. I called for them. Jake, Zoe, come here. Then I saw what they were barking at. It looked like a human crouched there in the grass. It was probably around 4 feet tall with bare, pale skin and long, bony arms. Arms and legs. It was, I don't know. I studied it for about 5 seconds, and it stared back at me. I'll never forget its eyes. Dark. Almost like empty sockets. Its cold gaze washed over me as if it was sizing me up, and it slowly started to move towards me. I was almost paralyzed by fear, but was able to quickly get back in the house. I locked the door behind me and rushed to my parents' room. They were convinced I had had a nightmare, but I know the truth. This was the first time I had fully seen the creature that would soon push me to the brink of insanity. I didn't see that thing again for quite some time. I started to think that maybe my parents were right, and it was just a dream. I was really sleep deprived after all. But deep down inside, I knew I had seen something. But a few weeks ago, I was on some website with my friend Derek. He had recommended it, and while we were on there, I saw a picture that shocked me. It was my creature, the one I had seen. The website claimed this creature was called, what was it? Varake, was that? Yeah, that was it. Varake. And that it stalks and mauls its victims. The moment I saw the article, my blood ran cold. Could I have really seen this creature? The thought haunted me. Refusing to leave my mind. I don't know, but I saw it again for the first time in months last week. It was much less subtle this time. I had woken up in the middle of the night again. Immediately I felt that something was wrong. The house was too quiet. I felt very unsettled. I got out of bed, walked to the window and raised the blinds. Sorry, I got out of bed, walked to the window, and raised the blinds. It was very, very dark outside. But I could make something out. The creature was outside, scratching at something on the ground. Immediately, I opened the window and yelled at the thing. It looked up at me, caught my eyes for a moment, then rushed off, crawling on all fours very close to the ground. When I went out to see what it was scratching at the next morning, I found something that still chills me to the bone. The mangled, half-eaten corpse of my dog, Zoe. My parents think it was a mountain lion, but I know the truth. The so-called rake and that bastard creature killed my dog. The last few nights have been terrifying. I've woken up in a cold sweat each night, knowing that damned thing is watching me. I feel its presence. I just can't see it. I know it wants me now, and I have no idea what to do. I'm terrified beyond belief. And I'm helpless. My parents keep telling me I'm imagining things, but I'm not, damn it. I'm not. I know what I've seen, and I know that it wants me For what, I don't know, but after seeing what it did to Zoe, I have a very good idea, but that's why I'm writing this down at 3 in the morning. If, if, if anything happens to me, I want people to know what. I honestly don't know what else to say. I'll update as soon as something else happens. May 2nd, 2011. The last week was a whirlwind of terror. I'm constantly in fear now. I know it's always watching me. I can feel it looking at me right now. I don't know where. Around, it's always, I know it's always watching me. And around every corner, everywhere I go, it's looking at me. Every night, I feel its presence. Some nights more than others. When that happens, I'm scared beyond belief. I don't know exactly what it wants from me, but it wants something. I saw it again for the first time in a week today. I stayed home sick. I still feel like shit. I think it's making me sick. I know it. I was laying on the couch, watching TV, constantly looking over my shoulders. Because I know he's always watching me. I had a shotgun by my side, a benefit of living in the country, and it was loaded in case the thing which I've decided to call the rake tries to attack me. I knew it would soon. I heard a noise outside and cocked my gun. I stepped outside to investigate. Nothing. Damn it. I decided to patrol the perimeter of the house just in case. I walked all the way around. Nothing. I stepped back inside, and the smell hit me. It was the stench of death. Rotting. I held the gun out in front of me. I slowly made my way up the stairs and turned the corner into my room. It was crouched in the my room's corner. It was facing away from me. It slowly tilted its head toward me. Then it spoke. It spoke. It was a high, shrill voice. I have no idea. I'm not sure exactly what it said to me. I didn't hesitate to pull the trigger, but it moved at almost superhuman speed and barreled into me, knocking me down. I saw it jump off of our second floor balcony to the living room floor. It charged out the door. My arm was bleeding badly, so I grabbed a shirt and pushed into my arm to try to stop the blood. I rushed outside, the gun still in my hand. It was gone. Go to hell! I screamed. I stepped back inside, and that was when I saw the blood. Not my blood. Its blood. I grabbed the dog it hadn't killed, Jake, put his nose to the blood. He picked up the scent and started moving towards the woods near my house. I didn't think twice and followed. We rushed through the woods. Around a mile away from the house, Jake started to whimper. I sent him back. This was my job. I started to explore the area, my finger twitching impatiently on the trigger, terrified. After about a half hour of searching, I saw something weird. A small area of ground that was different. It seemed covered up. I walked over and swept away the grass. I was right. There was a board under the grass. I pulled up the board, exposing a hole. A rusty old ladder led straight down. Against all better judgment. Against all better judgment. Curiosity got the best of me. I slung the shotgun over my back and lowered myself down. I was in a tunnel. There wasn't much light. It wasn't lit well at all. A few candles, that was it. But it was light enough to see the blood-smeared walls. The smell was awful. I could see paintings and blood's disturbing things. Stuff I never wanted to see. I walked through the tunnel towards the source of more light. I could see a sort of room at the end. When I stepped inside, oh God, I wanted to throw up. There were animal parts all over the floor, on the walls. This must be its feeding room. I turned around, retching, and there it stood, right behind me. It reached towards me. And that was when I blacked out. I woke up in my room about 30 minutes ago now. Alone. No cut on my arm, no blood anywhere. I decided to write everything while it's still fresh in my mind. My parents still aren't home. It's dark outside. I'm terrified to leave my room now. Maybe it didn't happen at all. Maybe I'm going insane. Paranoia is here to stay. I realize what the rake said in my room now. When he talked to me, it wants sacrifice. Mom, Dad, if you're hearing this after I'm gone, then get the hell away. Just get away. I don't know where to, but just leave this place. May 7th, 2011. It's over now. He's satisfied. Sacrifice is made, and I'm all alone. He was with me. Free nights. He just stands next to my bed, watches me, and sometimes he'll whisper to me. He told me he wanted sacrifice. Bloody sacrifice. He said I had to do it. I knew he was right. They don't matter to me. I can be alone. My parents thought I was going crazy. Little did they know. So last night I told him I told him I'd do it. I'd give him a sacrifice, a good sacrifice, so he will be happy. I told them to come with me, my parents. I wanted to show them a pretty spot I had found. They walked with me, walked to the rake hole. I opened it up and then pulled out a gun. I told them to go down the hole. They asked what I was doing, and I told them he wanted to see them. They went in the hole. They went down the ladder, and we walked through the tunnel. My mom was crying. My dad looked a mixture of terrified and anger. I didn't care. Then Mr. Rake came out of his hiding place. He looked at me with his black eyes and smiled. Then he killed them. They screamed a little bit. I didn't care. He was happy now. He pointed at the hole in the ladder, and I knew it was time to leave. Time to leave him to do what he needed. So I'm back home now. All alone. All alone in my dark my dark room. And this is the best part. I'm not scared of the dark anymore. I like the dark. It reminds me of my friend the Rake. I'm okay. I'm okay. Damn it, I'm not okay. I just led my parents to their death. Oh my god. I'm crazy. Oh god. I killed my own parents. I have the gun to my head now. I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm looking across my room right now. And he's crouched there, smiling at me, telling me to do it, that he's still hungry. He's still hungry. He wants one more sacrifice. And I'm going to give it to him. Goodbye.